Tonight, Take Two meets the motorised Grim Reaper. Steve Berry rides the legendary Wall of Death, while our man in black, Andy Wilman, finds some unexpected uses for a hearse.
We Brits have always been a bloodthirsty lot, macabre even. 300 odd years ago, when they had the first Lincoln Fair here, the attractions would have largely consisted of various unfortunate beasts tearing each other to bits, or even better, two bare-knuckle blokes bashing each other into oblivion. But in these politically correct times, such attractions or entertainments have largely disappeared. However, one remains. The chap who invented it called it the silly drome, but it didn't really take off until someone came up with a much better name, the Wall of Death.
I've been doing it since I was 12. My father, my grandfather, my brother, my mother. Since 1926, that was the first time that we got a Wall of Death.
It's a bit like going down the pit then, isn't it?
Well, it's handed down, yes, through generations.
Believe it or not, the first daredevil horizontal heroes were driven up the wall by pedal power. Performances were short, but along came the motorcycle and wall riders took to it, especially the powerful and reliable American-made Indian. The public demanded more difficulty and more danger, and the riders duly obliged. Maureen Swift, Maureen was a stage name, was the most famous of all the ladies, but the most famous of them all was Tornado Smith. Others had a tiger in the tank, he had a lion in a sidecar.
Well, deceptively spacious are two words that don't come to mind. Not for riding a motorbike, anyway.
Well, actually, Steve, it's 32 feet in diameter and 18 feet high.
I better shut the door, hadn't I?
Yes,
Last thing you want in a Wall of Death, an open door. Give it a slam, shall I?
Yeah, good slam.
Graham, someone has parked a knackered old motorbike in your Wall of Death. What's going on here?
Well, actually, this is one of the most reliable machines ever built. It's a 1928 101 American Indian, a sloper, what they used to call a sloper.
You ride the Wall of Death on a 70-year-old motorbike?
That's right, and it's still going as good today as what it was when it was built.
You're even madder than I thought you were. I've noticed one or two things about it. What's this?
This is the gear change, 3-speed gears, 1 up, 2 down.
It's also got no suspension at all, front or rear, apart from that thing you've got on the front there. It looks like a spring off a Ford and truck or something like that.
It's a little leaf spring, yes, and the rigidity of the bike, that's what makes it so good. As you're going around, you're not bouncing all over the place.
The other thing I've noticed, Mr. Cripsey, is that your tyres are illegal, sir, and they're demonstrating a very peculiar sort of wear. They seem to be all worn away on this side, nothing in the middle.
Well, due to the angle that you're at on the wall, as you're going around the wall, it only wears on this one side, and you'll get wear of about 2 inches.
So how long does a tyre last on one of these bikes?
Depending on how busy you are, you'd probably get a quarter of a season out of a tyre.
And I bet I know what you do when they're all worn.
That's right,
You turn them round, don't you?
Yeah, we do.
And then they just end up born up and nothing in the middle.
That's right, yeah, they just come to a point, when they get to a point, we throw them away.
Well, I think it's about time I had a go at this, so I'll just get on this one.
Go, Steve.
An antique Indian was far too precious to entrust to a bumbling beginner like me, so Graham found me a rattly old Honda. Dispensable bike, dispensable rider. Graham suggested that I try this steeply banked ramp, as it's usually weeks before anyone is ready for the 18-foot high wall, which, despite the way it looks here, is absolutely terrifyingly vertical. I have never gone so slow and been so scared in my entire life.
Well, Steve,
Was that all right for the first time?
Brilliant, yeah, it's really good, brilliant.
What a thrill, I tell you, honestly. It must look crap to you, but to do it for the first time,
Yeah,
it's
I
like...
brilliant, actually.
I just cannot imagine what it's like to get actually up on the wall, because you were telling me what, I'm doing sort of maybe 10, 15 miles an hour.
Yeah.
It feels like 150 miles an hour. But to get on the wall, you need to do 40. I just can't imagine it.
Yeah, you have to be, you know, a very, very good rider, and you have to be very special to actually be able to get on that wall.
Vicky Bonnet is a special rider indeed. Unlike the Cripseys, her family isn't steeped in circus history. She just used to babysit for them. Obviously, she's a barrel load of sawdust short of a big top.
I had a woman last week who said to me, "You're so brave." And I said, "Well, do you really think brave?" I said, "I think you're brave going out on a motorbike on the road." So I think probably a little bit crazy, don't you? I mean...
But you don't ride a motorbike, do you, normally?
No, push bike to work, actually.
At Boots?
At Boots in Skegness, yeah, which is probably a lot safer, but I don't think I want to be on Britain's roads today. Do you?
Could I not just sell tickets? I'd be good at that.
No, I've already got a ticket collector, but I have got an opening.
No riding the bike, though.
Oh, no, I wouldn't do that to you.
No riding the bike, he said, and he meant it. But pillion, that was different. Except that this wasn't the usual pillion ride. Instead of sitting behind the riders, shutting my eyes and pretending it was all a bad dream, I was perched on the front with my legs dangling over the handlebars. Now I know what those Michelin men on the front of articulated lorries feel like. And I couldn't hold on with my hands because there was nothing to hold on to. But believe me, I am holding on. So I fell off right at the end. But boy, did that right way up floor feel good.
Mother, you can let the back bedroom. I've run away from home to join the circus.
Life just isn't fair. Some people can blow a mortgage on a daft hat and while away the hours knocking back Pim's #1, while everyone else toils away in Alf Garnet land, struggling to put food on the table.
And it's the same deal with cars. While a lucky few swan about drowning in wood and leather, the rest of us just muddle along with Capris and Metros and bits of old Vivas. However, there has been one journey at least which gives most people a taste of the high life.
Their last one. Whatever hand you were dealt in the poker game of life, you were at least assured of a grand send-off. Because in the old days, hearses were built from swanky vehicles like this elegant Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud. But today, modern life and death just isn't like that.
In the past, hearses were made from Rolls-Royces, Daimlers, and perhaps in the later days from Princesses. The bodywork was constructed by producing a wooden framework over which the metal body was panel beaten. The social display factor of a funeral was obviously high, whereas today, to convert a Ford or a Vauxhall is by no means an unusual feat, and the style and dignity is not as great as the quality vehicles of the past.
The folk of West Horton disagree, since this town is the epicentre of British hearse building.
Even stranger, the whole town is like the British car industry in miniature. Here at Wilcox Limousines, they make hearses from Vauxhall, while just down the road, their rivals at Coleman Milne fashion them from the enemy's product.
And it takes more than a quick cut and shut to make a Class A spooky vehicle.
To put it in context, Ford build their cars in maybe 40 hours. We take nearer 500. And that is the difference. It's a handmade, bespoke job. After they come into the factory, the first job is to strip off the unnecessary bits. And then the car is cut in half and then separated to the required extension of 900 millimeters. A complete body is made in fiberglass in our fiberglass shop and mounted onto the vehicle. The doors equally are brand new. The working part of the hearse, the thing which is key to the funeral director, is the deck, which is beautiful wood laminate with all the fittings to hold the coffin. We have our own styling people. We work it out for ourselves, and we have to make our styles blend with the Ford styles so that at the end of it all, it looks as though it was intended to be that way.
Modern times, eh? Well, you ain't seen nothing yet. If you're the kind of person who reckons up in old money and likes your footballers in brill cream and long shorts, you'd better brace yourself.
This Toyota Previa has taken the words people carrier quite literally. Up front, nothing's changed, but it's lost the rear seats, had a lick of sombre paint, and gained a tree or two in the back. Perhaps not Reggie Cray's idea of a dignified send-off, but at £22,000, it's half the price of the competition. Cheap and cheerful, maybe, but is that what your last journey's all about?
If the Previa does make it, though, it might just pop up in the afterlife. You see, because some hearses, when they reach the end of the road, they don't die. They get reincarnated.
These cars are kept alive and kicking by the members of the Classic Hearse Register. And don't run off, they're quite cheery old souls. Charles is a designer. He sleeps on a futon in the back of his Austin FX3 and on driving holidays stops for roadside picnics. While Iker, an artist and musician, uses his Humber as a tour bus for the band. And you won't believe what Alan Smart gets up to in the back of his Austin Princess.
The reason I bought this one was because of the fact that I use it for my everyday trade. I'm in the carpet trade.
Customers, when you roll up with a bit of Axminster in the back, what do they do?
Well, they certainly don't make a beeline and think I come to bury them or anything. No, the customers take it actually in very good guise, but they think I'm joking when I tell them, of course, until they come out and see it.
But it was the Austin Princess of the 1950s which became the backbone of the funeral industry. Possibly because this car had one very uplifting feature.
So you wanted to quickly be able to change a tyre if the worst happens. And so with the automatic jacks, it takes it up, as you can see, takes it clean off the ground.
Brilliant, brilliant. And then the whole dignity of the funeral procession wouldn't be affected too much.
No.
Gary Good's Zodiac, though, could waken the dead.
Gary, this doesn't sound like the one they buried my granddad in. What have you done?
Well, it's got 7.5 litre Dodge engine in it now, modified Dodge engine. Pulls about 450 horsepower, so it's not like they built it. The only bit that's original is the actual body shell. It was built to go drag racing, basically.
Drag racing?
I run it through, done 13 second quarter miles, so it's quite respectable.
It's frightening.
Frightening?
Frightening. It's fast.
Oh, frightening fast like that, not frightening like spooky.
Both. Both.
The general public and a lot of people tend to think hearses are morbid and you therefore must be weird or morbid to drive one. The common question is, why? Why? Basically because they're absolutely beautiful cars. I mean, if you look at them as a car and not as, you know, what their commercial use may be. I mean, you don't like see people driving around in old baker's vans going, oh, does that mean you like bread? Do you know what I mean? I personally think they're elegant. They're stylish. It's almost like a limousine for vampires. As much as I like hearses, I think if I'm going to go, I've got to go really, really stylish, and it's got to be the horse-drawn hearse with the full feathers, the plumage, the business, galloping black horses.
4 black horses? Nah, I'm a car boy. I tell you, when it's my turn to go down the high street, I want 450 Detroit horses.